Hey guys, Ty here, and today I'm gonna bring you guys my basics for Photoshop. So let's begin. As you can already see, I already have some tabs open up for Photoshop, but this is basically a regular template I would use for, say, my outro or anything I want to do if I'm gonna make it into the video, such as this and my disclaimer from the Let's Play that I posted on Sunday. Anyways, let's get cracking. The first thing I always do is I open a new file, because if I'm going to make something new, I'm going to have to make a new one. And I normally use my outro or my outro template, which is the same thing as like my custom template. So the stats for that is the width is 1920 pixels, the height is 1080 pixels, resolution 72. Like you want the color to be 16-bit. Because if you make it 32, you can't really manipulate the image as well, because you can't change the colors and such. And if you make it 8-bit, I don't know, it just makes things a bit less colory. So I'm going to click OK on that, and that's my background. As you can see, it's just a white background. Now another powerful tool that people fail to use, I'm going to close that one, is the layers tool. This is the background tool. If I try to, say, use a paint bucket, I can do it. But then I run into a slew of problems if I try to do anything else. So I'm just going to undo that. Now the thing I like using most is the layer tool. As you can tell, this made a new layer. And I can do this and make it, I can use the bucket and make this white. But if I don't like that blue, if I don't like that blue background, I can always click this on the eye and it makes it disappear. Or vice versa, I can right click on it and I can delete the layers. Now let's bring back that layer again and color it blue. Oh. Oops. Select the layer. Don't forget to select the layer. Now another tool I always use is the guidelines tools. If you don't have guidelines selected, it's the rulers. If you don't have that, you can go to View and Rulers. See, if I take it off, it's like that. If I take it on, it's like that. Another tool you want to have on is Snap. Snap will allow you to snap items together when you're dragging them. Also, if you check your snap too, make sure everything is highlighted. Or, for me, I make sure everything's highlighted. Alright, so another thing I like using is the guide tool. The guide tool is basically using the ruler to make sure your whole picture is centered and aligned. So I'm going to bring the guide down like this. You just drag it down from the thing. And if you look closely, you can see the guide start snapping at the halfway point. Did you see that? At about the 7.5 inch range, it starts snapping there, and then it'll be blue. Now notice the blue line is going to be your guide, but the blue line doesn't always mean it's in the center. Like if I do this, it'll be blue also, but that's not the center, is it? So I'm going to do that to this side too, and I'm going to watch for it to snap. See, it snaps there. Another thing I always do is I rasterize my layer. There's no point in rasterizing this layer because there's nothing to rasterize on. So if you make a new layer and you right click and you see that rasterize option, always do that. That makes the item editable, and then you can edit it to your pleasing. Another tool I use is of course the paint bucket. That's always interesting to use. But another tool I always use is the text. I'm gonna wait for the text to load, and there. Let's say I want to put subscribe, because I'm a beast like that. And I'm going to make it yellow, because I'm yellow. So let's say you make the subscribe button, right? And you click OK to make sure it's there. And you want to move it around, but you're like, okay, I'm going to get the move tool. No, it's not working. Why is the move tool not working? Well, I have a very easy solution to that. You don't even have to highlight the note. Oops. You don't even have to highlight it anymore. You could if you want to, but here's what I do. I just select the subscribe layer. I click Control T, and that highlights my object. Now I can move it anywhere I want. Let's say I want to move it right in the center of my picture. It's in the center of my picture. I click OK, and now it's in the direct center of my picture for the subscribe word lettering thing. And now let's say I want to make another tool I like using is the marquee tools. Right now I'm selected on the rectangle marquee tool, but I don't want that. I want the elliptical marquee tool. So I right click on that and select elliptical marquee tool. And you can do a lot of things with this tool. As such, I'm going to select my layer number 2, and I'm going to highlight over the subscribe button. And now this highlights it, and then I can go over to gradient overlay, There. And I can choose this gradient overlay and then do anything. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh no. No. Oh wait, you can rasterize this layer. Oh yes, I forgot. I have to rasterize it. There we go. So I go to gradient overlay. I choose blend option normal. I click that. Cancel. Okay. Okay. And nothing's happening because I think I did it wrong. There we go. Well, that just changed the wordings, but as you can tell, the gradient overlay will make the words a little bit lighter at the bottom and darker at top. But let's say I don't like the light blue configuration. Maybe I want to go with Christmas colors, right? I could also do that. And it just really makes the thing pop. Another thing I like doing is using the stroke button. This basically just adds a line outside of the words. See, look, you can tell that no line, line. And it depends, and the color I choose normally depends on what the background is. Since this is a dark background, I might want to go light and just make some contrast. Let me change this because it looks ugly. Sure, let's make this really yellow. As you can tell, it's like that. So this is basically what I do if I want to set up everything. I mean, without the subscribe and all the layers. But what I always do is I always start off my project with the dimensions I chose for my outro, and the lines, well, the guidelines will help me. And yeah, so if you enjoy this, make sure to give a like at the bottom of the screen. And if I get 5 likes, I'll show you guys how to make my outro, which actually required a lot of work, so you might want to do that 5 likes. And if I get 10 likes on the video, I'll show you guys how to do the my fancy YouTube profile picture, and as an added bonus, I'll give you my disclaimer for free. Yay! It's like an Asian buffet, only you get less MSG. Alright, thanks for watching guys, and thanks for hanging out with me today guys. I'll see you later.